Here we have an introduction to surds. Let's say we have the square root of a and we want to multiply it by the square root of a. Well, the square root of a is really a to the power of a half. So this becomes a to the power of a half multiplied by a to the power of a half. And multiplying powers with the same base, we add the powers, which becomes a to the power of a half plus a half. And a half plus a half is 1, so we get a to the power of 1, which is just equal to a. So in general, 8, the square root of a, multiplied by the square root of a, is always going to be equal to a. So likewise, the square root of 2, multiplied by the square root of 2, would be equal to 2. And the square root of 3, multiplied by the square root of 3, would be equal to 3. And the square root of 4 multiplied by the square root of 4 would be equal to 4. And we can also see this because the square root of 4 is 2. So this becomes 2 times 2, which again is 4. So in general, root a multiplied by root a gives us a. So root x multiplied by root x gives us x. So an example of that would be root 5 multiplied by root 5 gives us 5. Now another surd rule that we have is root ab equals root a multiplied by root b. So here's an example, root 15. And the factors of 15 are 5 and 3. So 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. So root 15 can be rewritten as root 5 root 3. Another example using this rule is root 20. So one of the factor pairs of 20 is root 4 and root 5. So the square root of 20 is equal to the square root of 4 multiplied by the square root of 5, and the square root of 4 is 2. So root 20 is actually 2 root 5. So when you are using this rule and you're trying to come up with factor pairs, you want to try and use square numbers if possible. So for example, 4 is a square number. So the square numbers are, 1 is a square number, but it's not going to be very helpful with surds. So 2 squared is 4, so 4 is a square number. 3 squared is 9, so 9 is a square number. 4 squared is 16, so 16 is a square number. 5 squared is 25, so 25 is a square number, and so on. Then root a over b can be rewritten as root a divided by root b. So this is another one of our surd rules. So for example, the square root of 2 over 3 is the exact same thing as the square root of 2 divided by the square root of 3. And another example, the square root of 4 over 5 can be rewritten as the square root of 4 divided by the square root of 5. And since 4 is a square number, the square root of 4 is 2, so we actually get 2 over root 5. So again, try and look for square numbers if possible.